Tiny House Prepper.
Live simple, live free.
Well, hey everybody, I'm Bill.
And I'm Elizabeth with Tiny House Prepper.
Live simple,
Live free.
live free.
Live free, yeah.
We just wanted to come to you this morning or today and wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, yes. A very blessed
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
we will be spending the day with family, as is tradition with Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we just really wish you the best, you and your family the best, and blessings as well.
We have so much to be thankful for.
Yes,
I think
we
if
do.
all of us, no matter our circumstances, if we can just stop and just realize how much we do have to be thankful for. And we cannot thank God enough for so many incredible blessings that He's brought into our life. Yeah.
And we also just wanted to take a few minutes just to talk a little bit about what Thanksgiving is, especially for those of you who are not American or Canadian. Well, I know that we have viewers from all over the world, and in fact, one of the channels that we watch is Joel and Leah, and they are Brits from the UK, and they like to compare cultures between the US and the UK. But in reality, they're Brits trying to figure out the U.S. and it's so funny because they don't really know. And they just did a video a couple days ago where apparently they took a test about what Thanksgiving is, and they utterly failed it.
Yeah. Which is understandable.
In their thumbnail, it says we know absolutely nothing about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what gave me the idea, just to explain a little bit what Thanksgiving is all about.
Yeah.
And this is specifically an American and a Canadian holiday, and as far as I know, no one else in the world celebrates it. So,
And I don't think as a basic national holiday.
right, right.
Yeah.
So, what is Thanksgiving?
Well, actually, President Lincoln turned it into an official holiday
Okay.
during the time of the Civil War.
Okay.
But it goes way back earlier than
Yep,
that.
it goes back to 1621, and the Pilgrims that landed at Plymouth Rock in Massachusetts
In the Mayflower.
in the Mayflower. Yep.
Yep.
They came from England and they landed here, and they were starting a new colony, and they were delayed. I don't know all the details, but they were delayed for 2 months on their journey, and then they ended up being blown much further north than they had intended, and they ended up in Massachusetts, and they landed there in November, fully unprepared for the winter that was much harsher than anything they were familiar with in England.
Terrain that they did not know, so much that it was completely unfamiliar to them. And I think in some ways quite overwhelming. So.
And they had a very, very difficult time surviving that first winter because they landed in November totally unprepared.
I think there was, 102 people coming for the colony, plus the crew of the ship.
Right. And only about half of the colonists actually survived the first winter.
Well, in fact, can I go so far as to say that by the time the first thing we consider Thanksgiving rolled around, there was 23 of them left.
Yeah, out of 102, there were only 23 left a year later.
Yeah.
So after that brutal winter where only half of them survived, in April of 1621, there was a native named Squanto who had actually been to England
Yeah.
and spoke English, and he came to them and basically adopted them and taught them how to survive in this new world. He introduced them to maize, to corn,
Right, which was only New World.
and to other things that grew only here in America that were unfamiliar to the Pilgrims.
Apparently the stuff they had brought from England, the seeds and everything, just weren't surviving very well.
Yeah, they were European seeds, and they just didn't survive here at all. So Squanto taught them how to plant native plants. He taught them the best ways and locations to be able to go to fish, and he showed them some new areas where they can go for hunting. And as a result, that first summer they were here in 1621, they had a bountiful harvest.
Yeah, they finally had a good harvest. Yep.
So in the fall of 1621, they decided to have a harvest festival to show, how thankful they were to God
Yeah.
and to Squanto also, I guess.
Well, the Pilgrims were very definitely, you know, believed in God, believed in Jehovah. You know, they were basically a Christian group, so they were
Right.
wanting to have a celebration just to be thankful for their harvest, and just to be able to give thanks that they've
Right.
finally had some food.
Right.
Yeah.
So now bear in mind that by then there were only 23 of them left.
Yeah.
And so they started doing their harvest festival, their festival of Thanksgiving. And they started firing off guns and cannons and everything to celebrate.
Yeah.
And there was another local tribe.
We can't pronounce the name.
We can't.
We will put it underneath here.
We can't pronounce the name of the local tribe, but they heard the guns and the cannons, and
They didn't know if maybe an armed conflict had come up, if there was
right
Indians involved in some kind of a conflict. So they sent a fact-finding mission.
of 90 armed warriors
Right.
that went to see what was
Yes.
going on.
Yes. And so those warriors were just kind of watching, and they decided to camp near where all the celebrating was going on.
Just to keep an eye on things.
Right.
And of course, they had to support themselves, so they were going out and hunting and stuff in the forest to be able to eat while they were there. And apparently, then they started having interaction with the colonists and discovered that it was actually a harvest festival. And over the period of time that they were there, the natives and the pilgrims ended up feasting together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was the beginning of the first Thanksgiving, and it was celebrated traditionally for the next several hundred years in all the different colonies. But then she
Lincoln,
made mention
yeah.
to Lincoln, who actually, you know more about that.
Yeah, the country was in such turmoil because of the Civil War, and it was to declare a national day of Thanksgiving, going back to that harvest, way back in the 1600s, was a way, hopefully, to be bringing some unity and something hopeful back to people. I mean, there were families that were split apart by the Civil War, and to have a holiday where you come together just to show your thankfulness, he just was hoping it would really be something that could maybe bring some unity. So it became an official holiday. It's always the fourth Thursday of November. It doesn't matter what that date is, it's the fourth Thursday.
Right.
So, and I think turkeys are pretty native to America, and that's become a real traditional dish, of course.
Right.
Corn, the sweet potatoes, cranberries, all those kind of things, just kind of part of the traditional Thanksgiving feast. And then later on was joined by green bean casserole with French fried onions and, marshmallows on the sweet potatoes and maybe a little ham on the side. So,
Now,
dressing.
I know that Canada also celebrates Thanksgiving, but it's a different date. I believe
Yeah.
you've already had yours. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about the Canadian Thanksgiving except that I assume that when the Americas first started, there was no United States and Canada, and we had a shared history.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm just assuming that the Canadian Thanksgiving was also an outgrowth of the Festival of Thanksgiving, Harvest Thanksgiving at Plymouth Rock.
Or at least the idea
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
got into Canada. We're kind of remind me of Joel and Leah. We just don't know much about it, actually.
Right.
We just know there is a Thanksgiving in
Right,
Canada, and I think it's the same basic idea.
Yeah.
So we always love to be able to have time with family. The very traditional foods. Even on my weird diet, I'm going to be able to enjoy turkey and vegetables, and yeah, it'll still be really good. Sweet potatoes. But we really do try to make it a time to just really share what we're thankful for. And, there's a thankful heart's a powerful thing, especially when it's helping us remember how good God is and how much we can trust Him.
Right.
So, yeah. So,
And
go ahead.
In American society nowadays, people just call it Turkey Day, and it's a big day for football games and all kinds of stuff and family, and a lot of people have really lost the meaning of it. Even in America, a lot of Americans don't really completely know the background behind it. So We just wanted to, talk about that. It's just a day of thanksgiving to God for bringing a bountiful harvest.
That's right. And no matter what our circumstances are, any time that we wake up in the morning and we know there's going to be food we can eat and a roof over our head, and provision for things. I mean, that is a thing to be very grateful for.
Absolutely.
Very thankful for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, it is.
So, thank you for joining us, and once again, we just thank you and yours a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, you guys. All right.
Okay, thanks for watching. You be blessed.
Live simple, live free.
We'll see you next time.
I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son.
Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich, because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich, because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ.